Good evening, and thank you for tuning into this video. So far we've been working on solving inequalities. Now we're going to be working on solving compound inequalities. So let's look at this first example. We have negative 3 is less than m minus 4, which is less than negative 1. In this compound inequality, you really have two inequalities going on here. If you cover this up, you have the inequality negative 3 is less than m minus 4, but you also have the inequality m minus 4 is less than negative 1. So in this compound inequality, we have two inequalities, and they're tied together by this variable. Okay, think of one brick connected to the other. There's two bricks, but then there's something connecting them in between. So the thing that's connecting these two inequalities is the variable m. Now, to solve this, it's pretty simple. You go about it the same way as you would solve a regular inequality, only now you're going to be doing stuff to two inequalities at the same time. So let's just cover this up. Let's just look at the m minus 4. To get m by itself, all I would have to do is add 4 to both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4, but I'm also going to add 4 over here for this inequality, and I'm also going to add 4 over here for this inequality. So I'm adding 4 in 3 different spots, to the m minus 4, and I'm going to add 4 for the negative 1, but I'm also going to add 4 to the negative 3. Again, we're working with two different inequalities here, and that's why I'm able to add 4 to all 3 of those places. Okay? When I add 4, so negative 3 plus 4, that's just 1. I'm just left with the m in the middle. And on the other side, I have negative 1 plus 4. Negative 1 plus 4 is just 3. So my solution is m is going to be greater than 1 and also less than 3. So let's go ahead and graph that. Right up here, I have my number line. Here's my 0. Here's my 1. Here's my 3. So m is going to be between 1 and 3. It's going to be greater than 1, but smaller than 3. Now, there's no equal sign here, so I'm going to have two open circles. I'm going to have an open circle right here and an open circle right here. And I'm just going to shade in between the 1 and 3. All right, so that would be my final answer. So again, to recap, when I have a compound inequality, I have two different inequalities. I have m minus 4 is greater than negative 3, but I also have m minus 4 is less than negative 1. Okay, so I'm solving two inequalities all in one here. I'm going to add 4 to each of the components, and then at the end, I'm going to have m is greater than 1 and m is less than 3. So m, my solution, is going to be between 1 and 3. To graph it, I have my 1 and my 3. I have open circle because there's no equal sign underneath. And it's going to be between 1 and 3, so I'm going to shade in the middle like that. Let's look at one more example. In this example, we have negative 2 is less than 3y minus 4 is less than negative 1. So again, I have two inequalities. My one inequality is negative 2 is less than 3y minus 4. That's one inequality. My other inequality is 3y minus 4 is less than negative 1. So those are my two inequalities. So to get y by itself, I'm going to look at just this piece. I'm going to first have to add 4. Add 4 over here, add 4 over here, and add 4 over here. Don't forget to put a line underneath. Negative 1 plus 4 is just 3. I have 3y over here. And then negative 2 plus 4 is just 2. So I have 3y is greater than 2 and less than 3. Now, to get y by itself, I just have to divide everything by 3. So I'm going to divide this by 3, I'm going to divide this by 3, and I'm going to divide this by 3. When I do that, I should get y is going to be less than 1, but it's going to be greater than 2/3. So my solution, y, is going to be between 2/3 and 1. To graph that, here's my 0, here's my 2/3, and then here's my 1. It's going to be between 2/3 and 1. I'm going to have an open circle, and I'm just going to shade in between 2/3 and 1. And that is it. Go ahead and try the practice problems by yourselves, and we'll discuss these tomorrow. God bless you and have a good evening.